Welcome back, environmental science students. Today we are going to talk about your invasive species wanted project that is due for this week. To get started, open the file that we submitted to you on Canvas. Looks something like this. We'll start on the first slide. You may want to go up here and kind of zoom in. If it's too small for you, pick a zoom in that might help you to see it a little bit better. Now these slides are able to be edited by you, all right? So you can actually write on them. So let's say I wanted to get started, I need to read a little bit about what an invasive species is. I need to do the following things, look over the expectations that are expected of me for what my project should look like. And here's the checklist that tells you what your poster should have on it, what things that need to be included to help you get a perfect grade on your assignment. On the next slide is your planning stage. It does also count for points, so make sure that you are actually submitting your planning stage as well to your environmental science teacher. So let's say I want to do my project over loose strife, and it's a type of obnoxious flower plant that grows around waterways here in Indiana. I would then go look up the scientific name. Then I would find out where it's originally native to, what area it came from, what parts of Indiana has it started to invade, and when was it introduced? So was it introduced at a home and flower patio show? Was it introduced by farmers from another country? How did it exactly find its way to Indiana? Then I go through and I give a brief description of some key features for my organism. Description should have enough detail so that any person who comes across that species, they can easily identify it. You might also throw in there the life cycle, describe or include pictures of the species life cycle that you might have pulled up while doing some Google images. So let's say I go and I type in loosestrife in my Google images, and I come across my pictures. So already I noticed that I actually misspelled loosestrife on my document. So as part of the assignment, it says spelling does count. You may want to go back and change your spelling so that you have the right spelling for your species. So I might grab a couple of these pictures, copy and paste them, and then drag them back to my document and paste them right here. On the next document, I need to include a little bit about the impact on the ecosystem. What other plants is the loosestrife keeping from growing there? In other words, what plants would normally grow in Indiana that don't have the available land because loosestrife has taken over and invaded its space? What kind of impact might it have on the economy? So in other words, if you're a farmer, it might be a huge problem because maybe you're trying to grow crops there, but now you have this obnoxious plant that is growing out of control that's keeping you from growing the crops that you make money off of. What kind of human impact might it have? Allergies could be a problem, might suffer from some issues. It might be poisonous to humans. It might be poisonous to other organisms. How can we control it or get rid of the current population? And what could be some ways that we might prevent this from being a bigger problem, more invasions from other organisms other than the loosestrife. Laws, regulations currently imposed for what may be used to stop the spread of more invasive species into Indiana. So you might see here on the next page is citations, graphic organizers. I might type that I went to www.biologycorner.com, and then I might put the author's name, the name of the article, invasive species, so and so, and then what the website publisher might be, date that it's published. If you can't find the website publisher or the date that it's published, a date accessed would also be appropriate for that particular case. Go to your website too, do the same. And you should have at least 4 reputable websites. So places that you are linked to through your school account on your Chromebook should be appropriate to allow you to look at websites that are credible. By that, I mean you wouldn't necessarily go to places like Reddit or I don't know, any of the websites that might present a problem, not giving you factual data that you should have on your document. When you're done, you have an area for where it says works cited. So that's where you will write up the bibliographies for your website. If you're not sure how to write your bibliographies for your website, if you just scroll all the way to the last document, gives you an idea of how that works. So here we have California Invaders, American Bulldog, put out by California Department of Fish and Wildlife as our website, date that it was accessed, then the hyperlink to the page itself in case the teacher has any questions and wants to follow up and find out whether or not you really pulled the right information from that document. All right. So that's how you write your works cited. And this example will be included in your example to help you guide yourself as you go through and do your own works cited. When you're all finished on this page, this is where you're going to insert a picture of your um, invasive species. Make sure that you spread it out enough that it takes up as much space on this backdrop here. Underneath, you're going to put wanted by, wanted for, what's its crime, description of the crime, how has it become an invasive species, what has it taken over, what kind of issues can it cause for an ecosystem, and how does it destroy the amount of biodiversity that's available to that ecosystem. So examples, if you're still at a loss and you need a little bit of help, here's a great example from the publisher. Right here, they put help wanted, American bullfrog, and it's wanted by the wildlife officer McGee. Um, and again, you can make up fictitious names or you can play off your own name and add different wild titles to yourself to make it creative. But feel free to use your creative engines, allow yourself to have a little fun here. Wanted for killing native frogs in the western United States. Description, howdy, my name is Sheriff McGee. I'm looking for every single American bullfrog you can round up. The crime committed by these varmints is gluttony. So you kind of get the idea of what kind of issues that this is presented over time that we're still running into um, even currently. So this bullfrog is still causing further issues. Now, keep in mind, this project itself is worth quite a few points. So it's really important that as you go through that you, and let me go ahead and see where I put my, and I might have to move around a little bit. Here we are. This is the rubric for your project. So the first one is content. Did you research the information? Was the wanted poster, did it demonstrate the in-depth knowledge? And I'll have a hyperlink for this so you can go back and look at what is your scoring rubric? How will your teacher divvy up your 50 points for this project? So you have your accuracy. Did you pull the information from a web page that is scientifically accurate? Is it clear? Is it reliable information that you're pulling out? Or there, unlike my example I started off with class where I had misspelled the word loosestrife, you need to make sure that you're not providing any spelling or punctuation or grammar errors, not including slang or dialect. Does it have photographs of your organism? So providing enough visual evidence for people to look at so they can compare. I know I'm one of those people when somebody is referring to something, a visual kind of allows me to equate with what they're talking about. So I'm able to look at it and then say, oh, this is what you're talking about. Or I've seen this. This is something that's a problem. All right, I will help you find that problem and we can solve it by getting rid of it together. Creativity, the wanted poster is creative and fits the Wild West theme. Works cited is a reliable source. So all that together collectively will determine your overall score. So you may want to take your time and go through and check off every box, look at everything that's expected of you in this project, fill in every one of these slides as you go along, and make sure you're not in present mode, because when you're in present mode, you can't edit anything. So make sure you're actually just pulling the slides over here. And again, if you want to make the slides bigger or smaller, whatever makes it easier for you to fill the documents in. When you're done, then you'll go back to Canvas and submit your document to your teacher so that they can look over them and give you an overall grade for your efforts. Hope all this information helps you out. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to reach out to your teacher. Always remember, we are available on Wednesdays just to provide you that extra incentive. We're also available for iPasses before or after school, or if you just drop us an email. It's been great talking to you, environmental science students. Have a great day.